Need Pokemon Go PvP coaching? Well, I'm on Metafy, so click the link in the video description and I'll take you right to my page. What's up, guys? Sorry I have not uploaded in a while. I actually got COVID, so last week was a bit rough for me, but I am mostly better now. Just have a little bit of a lingering cough, but hopefully you guys can forgive some of the gross sounds you may be about to hear. Sorry in advance. Anyways, we do have Halloween Cup. I missed Ultra League and Catch Cup. If I was going to miss any leagues, I'm glad I missed those. And we have Halloween Cup here. Huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. Could not be doing this without you guys. Yeah, let's get right into this video. We can talk about the team. This is a very similar team to one I've run in the past. I think I ran Umbreon, Shadow Beedrill, and then Wormadam Trash last time around with Bug Bite. And it went pretty well. Or went okay. What can I say? But I think with the addition of advent of Toxicroak started to become more popular, it was a bit tough. And I started this Halloween Cup. I wanted to find a Pokemon that I had not run before. And I actually just built this Escavalier. Escavalier is a pretty underrated Pokemon, I think, just in Great League in general. And especially in Halloween Cup in these limited metas. Bug Steel typing is fantastic. And access to counter is even better. So Escavalier, very unique Pokemon. And honestly, I think may even work better than the Wormadam Trash version of the team. So I decided to try out not changing too much around, just working Escavalier into an already working team. And honestly, the results were pretty good. I didn't lose a single set with this team. Just the 3 sets that we see here, and then I ended up switching up teams afterwards just for fun. I mean, that's the point of this season. I feel like there's no rating, so everything is just for fun. As far as movesets go, pretty standard. There's no really alternative movesets for anything here except Umbreon. Maybe you could run Psychic, but you need to be able to beat Mandibuzz, so Last Resort is very useful. And then Escavalier, I'm sure there's Acid Spray lovers out there, but Megahorn is too good to pass up. Same with Drill Run. And speaking of Mandibuzz, we got a Mandibuzz right here. Mandibuzz, which was Umbreon lead. Man, I wish I sped up this video clip a little bit faster, but this is what I would call an extremely comfortable matchup. Umbreon versus Mandibuzz, one of those matchups that Umbreon, honestly, you can't really lose. You get low at the end of it, but you're never in danger of losing the matchup. So even though on PvPoke it might show up as a very even matchup, I really wouldn't consider it that. And because your goal is to take out Mandibuzz here, you don't have to worry about switching out. You kind of just have to hope that this is kind of their answer to the bug types in the back. And that Beedrill and Escavalier will have a good matchup. So the goal here, and I'm not sure if I actually do this in this video clip, this was my second game back after a week of not playing, and the goal here, you want to end this with as much energy as possible. In this case, that was a bad play. I should have been charging up and waiting for them to throw. Instead, they make the catch onto Nidoqueen, which is unfortunate, but I can go into Beedrill here. Actually, Escav is good here too. The problem with Beedrill into Nidoqueen is that they can actually just Poison Jab you down with Poison Fangs. I'm not going to see it this time because I don't shield the Earth Power. They actually go for it, so I'm going to let them do that since we CMP tied. I didn't want them farming up extra. So I can comfortably go into the Escavalier now. And then as long as they don't go up to an Earth Power, which I know we'll get to the Drill Run first, I don't have to shield any of these moves. And this is a common mistake a lot of players make. If they don't think they're going to make it to the move, they just throw the other move. But because they're throwing Poison Jabs, I never have to throw my move now. I can just keep farming up. And now my Escavalier outweights them. I throw the Drill Run in the Mandibuzz just because I assumed it would be enough damage, but it was not. And I'm going to swap out and catch the move on Umbreon. But you see, because they were throwing those Poison Jabs there, I'm able to actually keep farming up, and I have 2 full Drill Runs on my Escavalier essentially for free at this point. So I'm going to go for the farm down here. I want some energy on my Umbreon. Hopefully they bring in something that I can get to the next move with, and it's a Golbat. So they do come in with a Golbat. If they came with a Nidoqueen, I doubt I get this Foul Play off, but now I'll be able to get this Foul Play off on the Golbat, and unfortunately, Golbat versus Escavalier, not a great matchup, even though I was able to take advantage of that Nidoqueen in the mid game. The fact that they're running 2 flyers, ABA flying, unfortunately makes this matchup kind of impossible. Yeah, these shields are not serving me very well when it's essentially just a double Poison Fang team. So that's one of the issues with Halloween Cup, I think. Very fast move dependent. There's a lot of Charmers, a lot of Poison Fangers. Alright, Azu lead. Not ideal. And Beedrill is your best answer, but I do recommend going into Beedrill. It seems that whatever people are running with Azu also lose to Beedrill. Also, if they have any sort of fire type, if you swap in Escav, it's kind of over. So Beedrill is your better safe swap here. It's got access to Drill Run. It's got access to X-Scissor. It's got a good match against Galvantula here as the switch-in. I can choose to win this if I want. And honestly, winning switch advantage would be nice here. But at the same time, Escavalier versus Azumarill is not good enough of a matchup for me to prioritize that over everything. In fact, I should have no-shielded the first move, because it was almost certainly lunge. I could have taken shield advantage. I still do take shield advantage, but it's not as good as I would have liked to. I'm going to come back with the Umbreon. They're going to get to the move before me, so I'm just going to go for the sneak instead of losing CMP. I'll tank the lunge. I'll charge up a little bit more and take him out with the Escav before they get to that next move. I don't want to have to take a lunge or a discharge here, so it's important that my counters can take out the Galv. In is going to come the Azu, so at this point, I'm feeling pretty good about this game. Like I said, it's not a great matchup for Escavalier, but it's pretty good, especially when they're not running Hydro Pump, for the most part, in Halloween Cup. And the fact that they're bringing this Azumarill into Escavalier means that they have something even worse in the back against Escavalier. Or something that Umbreon can maybe handle. So, we'll have to wait and see what it is. But Escavalier gonna be able to take an Ice Beam, I think. Not like super comfortably, but comfortably enough that it will be able to get to Drill Run versus Nidoqueen in the back. And this Drill Run should KO. Yeah. Oh, no. I straight up lied to you guys. Doesn't quite KO. Does quite a bit of damage. And we're going to be able to come in with the Umbreon and just finish off the Nidoqueen. Yeah. They just not left there. Yeah, able to wiggle out of some of these really bad leads as well. I think there's a bunch of Azu leads in these 3 sets. And I mean, it's a really good Pokemon. And it's one of the better Pokemon in Halloween Cup, so you will be seeing it quite a bit. Here's another bad lead. We have Obstagoon. I'm going to go into Shadow Beedrill's second best answer here. They come with Skuntank. Very interesting. This is not a counter to Shadow Beedrill at all. In fact, if you see a Shadow or a Skuntank go in, you can probably go in with the Shadow Beedrill. And especially the Shadow version of Skuntank, eventually you can just take them out with an X-Scissor at the end if they do want to play that 2-shield game. But you can just one-shot them instead with Drill Run before that. So that's what I'm doing. Since I have the energy advantage, I'm just throwing right away. They can spend more shields than I can, and if I don't match, I might lose. But unfortunately, we're going to see the game crash, and actually this was not just my game that crashed, it was kind of everyone's games that crashed, whether they were raiding or playing GBL. I'm just going to skip ahead. I actually couldn't attack here at all, and maybe this is a new bug as well. I'm already running 2 bugs, maybe bugs attract swarms. But yeah, I couldn't do anything until I swapped out my Escavalier into my Escavalier, and then all of a sudden I could attack again. So, very interesting. Yeah, it was like, does tabbing out, does checking my notifications? No, just attacking is going to fix the bug. So if you run into this, just swap out, and it should be fixed. But yeah, my opponent, I don't think comes back, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. Sorry about that. Completely forgot about this when editing. Alright, next battle. And yes, I do have to DDoS all my opponents when I get a negative lead. No, we have another Obstagoon. It's a repeat, so let's see if this one can go a little bit better than the last one in terms of game stability. They're going to throw right away. The Night Slash doesn't really deal that much damage. This is a really comfortable matchup for Beedrill. And in fact, I'm going to throw one away because I'm going to try, if they do get the sneak, I'm going to try and make them over tap. Because I'll throw my next move right away, and if I can grab 2 shields for the price of 1, oh man, it's a good deal. So, at this point, I'm in a bit of a predicament. If they decide to shield, I gotta choose, do I shield this move? Because now they're a move ahead of me, and they'll likely be able to get a second shield off of me, but they actually switch out into Clefable, so I'm kind of glad I did. I'm now a bit worried that this is Obstagoon Double Charm. This team does not fare the best against Double Charm. Escav is pretty good against Charmers, but Beedrill is really kind of the prize here. It's really the only one that can beat Charmers in all shield scenarios. So I'm actually going to bring my Umbreon back into this Clefable. If it is Obstagoon Double Charm, then Umbreon is nowhere to go. So this is maybe the best use I can get out of it. I'm gonna no shield this. I gotta save my shield for Escavalier. I know it's probably a Charmer, but I do have to keep this Escav healthy. And that Obstagoon might get to a move versus my Escav. And they're actually gonna go for it. And they are gonna just get there. Unfortunately, not gonna be able to quite counter them down. We'll be able to get the shield off though, which is a pretty big deal. And then in comes the Wigglytuff, so this is kind of what I was expecting. Wigglytuff at least is the normal type, takes regular damage from counter instead of resisted damage. And these drill runs will be enough to finish it off. So this team can be double charm. I feel like they might have to misplay a little bit, but if you're seeing double charm, Escav, Beedrill in the backline, they can deal with it. Really depends on the lead too. If it's Obstagoon double charm, then Umbreon really has nowhere to go. If it's something like Jellicent double charm, you have a chance. Either way, first set with the team, gonna grab a nice 4-1. Not gonna quite be able to make it to ace. Maybe one day I'll be able to get to the ace rank, but that is not today. Next set, we are gonna see a Mawile lead. This is a bad lead. We gotta figure out how to deal with this, because guess what? Mawile, fairy type, beats Umbreon. Also, fire type damage beats Beedrill and Escav. And if it ramps up, the fire type damage is even worse. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to throw these foul plays at the Mawile. They actually do decent damage. And you're guaranteed to pretty much get at least 2. And this is kind of the Pokemon you want to take out for the back line. So once again, it's okay to let Umbreon go down here. Just going to throw a foul play, throw a third foul play here. Looks like I lose CMP. Hopefully it's not a play rough, but this Mawile looks like it's running Iron Head. I don't know why Mawiles run Iron Head. Play rough just seems like the better move in general. But that's okay. I am a direct beneficiary from it this time. But it's not quite enough. I'm going to hard swap into my Escavalier. If they swap out, that's okay. But I needed that counter damage to be able to take down that Mawile over Beedrill, who doesn't take double super effective damage. Beedrill, unfortunately, does poison damage, which ends up being single resisted after all is said and done. Either way, Toxicroak comes in. This is a pretty good matchup, but not the worst matchup in the world like it was for Wormadam Trash when I was running the Bug Bite version. As long as you land a drill run, you can grab a shield, or at worst, you threaten shields with energy, and at the same time, counters don't just completely take you out here, right? It's the same defensive typing as Wormadam Trash. In this case, I'm going to go for the X-Scissor. I've already spent my shield, so I need to take this Toxicroak out to get the sneak, but I'm going to be able to get another X-Scissor off before they're able to get the Mud Bomb out, and hopefully my Beedrill has enough momentum that it can carry me through the rest of this game. I'm going to swap and catch the Mud Bomb on the Umbreon, because I know that they're pressured to throw at that point. They had one counter pass to Mud Bomb. That's why it's so important to always be counting, and unfortunately it is a Umbreon at the end. And this is not a healthy enough Beedrill to be able to survive this foul play plus the Snarl that I need it to. So I'm not going to be able to double X-Scissor and potentially take out that Umbreon. But that's a Mawile lead. That's very tough. It's kind of the main core breaker of the whole shebang. Umbreon lead though. We have 2 answers for Umbreon, so we're going to swap out right away. But apparently they also have 2 answers for Umbreon. I wonder if we're running very similar teams here. There's the Nidoqueen. This is the Nidoqueen Shadow Beedrill matchup. It's actually pretty important. And it's not as good for Beedrill as you might think. You might think, oh, okay, they're both resisting poison jabs and Beedrill gets to move faster. But we have Poison Fang here on this one side for baits. And the fact that Nidoqueen double resists ground. Whereas Beedrill only, poison. Whereas Beedrill only single resists poison. I shield once. I think it's okay to let your Beedrill go there and take 1 shield advantage. But I felt like in this game I wanted shields down. So I can land a Mega Horn on the Umbreon. But I'm going to bring my own Umbreon back into the Nidoqueen. I know that if they swap Nidoqueen, or they swapped out of Umbreon, they likely have 2 answers for my Umbreon. So at this point, I'm just saving my Escav. Hopefully, an Escav plus a shield can take out Umbreon plus 1 more Pokemon. I know it can handle the Umbreon by itself. It's just a matter of what else is in the back here. So they're going to get this Earth Power off. Yeah, that hurts. But we're not going to spend shields. They know that. That's why they can throw the nuke. And then in comes Golbat, and that's not great to see, but luckily they do swap out. This gives me a little bit of win condition here, but Umbreon is just, like, even in these bad matchups, Umbreon just deals so much damage. In this case, I throw right before they get to their next foul play, or the Mega Horn should take them out. But at this point, Escavalier at 25% HP with a shield needs to be able to take out Golbat, and I'm not sure that's something that Escavalier can do here. The Drill Run, it does nothing. And Foul Play on Umbreon, it's not going to do enough either. I do get the move Sneak Through. It's going to finish up my Foul Play, but with the Poison Fang, yeah, I undertap, get the Foul Play off. I don't know what kind of wishful thinking, what kind of damage multiplier I need here for Umbreon to be able to take out Golbat with a Foul Play, but I decided to let my opponent give them the glory, you know, instead of top lefting there. Yeah, 2 losses in a row with the team. Both? No, this was a neutral lead, but yeah, the Golbat, it's tough when Umbreon needs to take on more than one Pokemon. Azumarill lead. Yeah, not a lot of great leads. But we're going to go into the Beedrill, and once again, if they stay in for a couple seconds, you know it's looking really good. Because they're like, ah, crap, everything I have loses to Beedrill. What do I go in with? I can't stay with Azu. They come with the Drapion. It's a Bite Drapion, something I haven't seen since Sinnoh Cup. They're going to go straight for the No Shield Bait Call into the top left. One of the most dangerous combos in the entire game, but they managed to pull it off with aplomb. No, we're going to be able to win that game as well. I think this is a pretty short set. A lot of people realizing they have better things to do with their time than play out games where they probably forgot to TM their Pokemon, is my guess. Okay, Wormadam Trash versus Umbreon. This is a very interesting matchup because Umbreon does resist these confusions. So it's all about charge move damage here. And Wormadam Trash does not have a bait move. So in this case, I actually feel like you can feel pretty safe shielding up your Umbreon. Especially because failing the bait is also just a disaster for them. In this case, I think I made a great choice because they're going to come in with Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz, like I said, this is a really safe matchup for Umbreon. And the backline isn't very good against it. Escav is not bad. His Megahorn chunks. This is just better, I think. And Escav can also handle Wormadam Trash extremely well. So that's the other advantage of using Escavalier, is that, or over Wormadam Trash, is that in case you do run into a mirror team, the player with the Escavalier is going to beat the player with the Wormadam Trash every time. In the mirror team. Obviously not in every Wormadam Trash game. But yeah, Mandibuzz versus Umbreon. I think they expected me to swap out, but it's not going to happen. We're going to stay and we're going to play this match out and hopefully end with as much energy as possible. Although I know I don't play it that way this time. Got to be careful with the catch too. People have been just getting a little bit fancy with this kind of thing. Actually, I swap into Beedrill. I swap into Beedrill here because I know Beedrill has a terrible matchup against Wormadam Trash. I want to just get a farm down on Mandibuzz. They actually throw the Dark Pulse instead of the Aerialist. Very weird. My worry was that they'd swap straight into the Wormadam Trash, but instead they're going to come into Tyranitar, Shadow Tyranitar, and you know what? Generally good against Beedrill, but these X-Scissors are neutral because of the Dark typing. They hit really hard, and now I've got an Escavalier in the back that has a great matchup against pretty much everything left, so it's just going to come in and clean up, and this is where we see ABB really succeeding. But yeah, the Drill Run, gonna be able to grab the last shield, and yeah, they're not gonna let me get to that next Drill Run and end the game. But there's another win from Escavalier. Alright, next game, we have Jellicent lead. Exactly what we want to see, unless it's Double Charm. We'll see, it's Scrafty, and this is where I learn a little bit of a lesson. Scrafty, if a Scrafty comes in, go in with Beedrill, not Escavalier. This matchup is not as good as I thought. I'm dealing super effective damage with counters, and he's hitting with regular damage counters, and they're doing like the same damage. He threw Foul Play. If he threw Pup, it's over. It's game over if he throws Pup. And they actually try and go for the full farm down, but my Escav's IVs are just a little bit too good, and they top left. This could have been a disaster. So the Scrafty versus Beedrill matchup, much better. Very clean. You double resist fighting instead of it being neutral, so you don't really have to worry about the Scrafty at all. So it's not about dealing that super effective damage to Scrafty, it's more about just not taking the neutral damage from Scrafty and just resisting it instead. Okay, that was a quick game. Drifblim. And yeah, obviously not great for the backline. Drifblim might be the hardest counter to Beedrill in the meta, and also maybe Escavalier. Like, it's a really hard counter for the backline. So we need to keep Umbreon on it, and I was a bit scared about how the Skuntank matchup would go. They actually get the defense drop too, which is not ideal. I still throw the drill on first, and you can see I'm charging up extra, even though it is a Drifblim, so it doesn't really matter. But they do let it go. So, ooh, my heart stopped for a second there, thinking that they were just going to get crunch debuff after crunch debuff and win that matchup. Sorry. Yeah, you can see these poison jabs. They don't deal a lot of damage. Beedrill, just in general, deals a lot of damage, so they kind of add up. Like you can see, Beedrill will be able to take this Drifblim into the yellow, and this is now like farm down worthy, but they have a Shadow Gramble in the back. Almost top left it here. This is pretty dire. This is not Shadow Beedrill able to take down every Charmer in every even shield scenario. This is Escavalier dealing not very effective counter damage, needing to land a Drill Run through a Granbull with 2 shields. Ugh, not a great look, but they throw their move, and I'm able to get to the second Drill Run. I think you just barely get there. They lagged a bit, so I have a little bit more HP than you might expect. Yeah. Now they get their charms through, and my Umbreon has to get to this foul play before they get to close combat. It does, and this is maybe the only time you'll ever see Umbreon take out a Charmer, but it still has to go through this Drifblim. This Drifblim has a ton of energy, not HP. I was like, ton of HP. I'm like, no, that's a lie. It doesn't have very much HP at all. You're gonna throw just one foul play should be enough, as long as don't take like 1,000 Icy Winds before then. They do get the sneak, so if they get to another Icy Wind, I think I'm fine, but a third Icy Wind would really spell disaster here. They're not gonna get to it. Around able to close this out. So that's with the Charmer just left in the back there, and that is a bit of the worry with Beedrill as your safe swap. But that was the same thing with Wormadam, right? Because Fairy Resist Bug. Alright, Dragalge lead. We're going to swap out of this one right away, but my opponent has the exact same plan. We have an Escavalier versus Beedrill matchup. Get to the Drill Run at the same point in time. Going to shield up because the Drill Run really hurts, and we'll see what they want to do about Drill Run. The good thing about this matchup here is if you land the Drill Run, you can farm Escav down. Yes, with double not very effective poison jabs, you can farm Escav down. It's that squishy and come out with an absolute haul. So in this case, they actually come back in with a Dragalge, which means I'm essentially just getting my shield back, which is perfect for me. That means there was essentially no reason for them to not shield at all at that point with the amount of farm I got. I'm gonna land another Drill Run even before I get farmed down. So 2 shields taken back by Beedrill out of the farm that I gained from the Escavalier matchup. I'm gonna come in with Umbreon on my own because I know if they hard swapped their Escav into Umbreon, then they likely have another Umbreon answer. So in this case, Ariados in the back. This matchup's not as good as I thought. The counters, they're very resisted. Lunges, they add up. The Drill Runs, they barely do over half. So you really do need to hope that shields are down at this point. In the 2 shield scenario, if someone swaps into Ariados, this is a pretty tough matchup actually. It kind of comes down to just sneaks and how much they want to play it. In this case, we're going to CMP tie. I'm going to get that Drill Run off, and it doesn't quite KO anymore because of all the lunge damage. So I'm going to no-shield this one. It is a lunge, not a cross poison. And Umbreon at this point should be able to farm down. In comes the Dragalge. They have a ton of energy. I got to make a call here. It is a 50-50. Let's see what the coin flip says. Coin flip says bait. So win the coin flip there. And because I win the coin flip, this should be a pretty comfortable matchup. I think if they did land the Gunk Shot or the Outrage, I think I could still win, but it would be much closer for sure. At this point, right, I just have to shield up this last move. As long as I land the foul play on the Dragalge, it's game over. And honestly, they should have just went for that move on the next one. It's not like they're going to make it to another. I think their only win con is just me not shielding because I think their Ariados has a move or something like that. Not the case. Not the case in this game. Going to be able to pull another W. Alright, next game. Let's see some good leads. Where's my Jellicent leads? We had one. Oh, there we go. Marowak lead, just had to pray for it. And in comes Ariados. This is what I was talking about. Ugh. I panicked. So this is what happens when you don't know the switch in very well. I'm going to tank a move on Umbreon. That hurts so much. And then go to my Escav. I wanted to go from Energy Dry just so I don't lose this matchup so hard. Don't get my move sneak, which is a little bit rough. Because if I don't start to get move sneaks, then this matchup gets kind of tough. The advantage of staying with the Umbreon a little bit there is that I'm dealt some Snarl damage, so I should be able to take it out with 2 drill runs this time, as opposed to last time. Yeah, I couldn't no-shield this one. Problem is, if you no-shield this one, you get very low, and you get in cross-poison range. So in this case, I'm going to throw right away, hopefully CMP time the cross-poison if they're running it. And I should be able to take a shield here. And yes, I did get the CMP tie, so in this case, I think I'm okay to let my Escav down. It kind of is unfortunate, but I should be able to get a little bit of a farm on the Beedrill as well, and make it so that this Alolan Marowak can't really come in on the Beedrill. So I do maybe have to reevaluate what I do with an Ariado switch in if I come in with a Beedrill instead for a more, consistent matchup. So the Marowak comes back in. I'm going to throw the drill run, and I'm going to swap and throw the foul play with my Umbreon, but somehow my opponent seemed to be able to switch. Maybe they predicted, if they predicted my foul play there, then kudos to them. Fantastic play. If the game allowed them to switch after they saw me switch out, then no kudos to Pokemon Go. We're still waiting for that fast move fix as well, but the win con is still there. I just have to finish this with a move because they don't have a shield, and well, a little bit more than a move. So I actually don't throw my move here because I want the switch timer to not go down. I don't want them to be able to swap out of this matchup. Unfortunately, somehow they are able to swap out after just recharge moves worth of moves. So I thought that was a little bit quick as well, but maybe it's because we were just farming up so much, both of us at that point. And Beedrill not going to quite be able to take out the Marowak. Yeah, if I was able to farm down that Azu, I think I would have been able to orchestrate that win, but should not have thrown the last resort the Azu. That was my mistake. I should have just kept charging with my Umbreon. So I move like Explosion, I feel like, would add a lot of strategy to the game. You could avoid people farming you down. Anyways, Qwilfish. This is a bit of an interesting matchup too. Umbreon does pretty well here, but Beedrill and Escav both also do okay. Kind of just depends on how many shields get spent. They swap out in Tyranitar, and this is perfect. I only really have one good answer to Tyranitar. It's a Escavalier, so we're going to swap in and just get this nice little farm down here. Scav takes half of its HP, but not having to throw a move and not having to spend a shield is fantastic. In comes the Crustle, so this is the ye old Rockhole team that I guess Caleb Peng came up with. I mean, he came up with the Qwilfish version, which we're playing against here, came up with the Tentacruel version in the first iteration of Halloween Cup. Still a very fun team. Shadow Tyranitar maybe a little bit too squishy for the meta now with all these bulky monsters here, but I'm going to bring back in the Umbreon against this Crustle. I really can't bring Beedrill in. And as long as Umbreon can get this Crustle low enough, hopefully my Beedrill will be able to take down the Crustle and then the Qwilfish. But it's a bit tricky. I'm going to let my Umbreon not go down, but take that damage, swap into the Beedrill, get the farm down on Crustle. Only took half of my HP. That's nothing. And I'll just throw the X-Scissor here. I really do need the bait to win this game, I think. Well, I meant for my Beedrill to get the drill run off, but they actually call it bait, which means I'm going to need to land a foul play or another X-Scissor, another move on this Qwilfish. So I let the Beedrill go down. I figure the best bet of getting a move off at this point is letting my Umbreon sneak a move and then under tapping to get this foul play off. Under tap the foul play, get that off before the next Aqua Tail. They're at most one away. I'm going to take out the Qwilfish for the win there. So Rockhole, yeah, a little bit tricky. Shadow Tyranitar, another core breaker here for the Beedrill Umbreon core. But luckily now, instead of Wormadam Trash, we've got Escavalier with the double super effective counters. So another benefit of Escavalier. Can't believe I didn't build one earlier. It just seems so good in a lot of these limited metas. Azumarill lead, another one. We're gonna go straight into Beedrill. Business as usual. And once again, when they stay in for a little bit, you're like, yes, thank God they don't have an answer. So if they don't build up to the Hydro Pump, you can let it through. Ice Beam does a lot, but it doesn't deal all that much. They come with the Haunter, and I get a little bit fancy. You know what? A little bit greedy. Figure an X-Scissor was definitely going to get a shield, but they know shield. The X. I actually can't believe that happened. So this is why I don't like to bait a lot, because you can find loss conditions in situations where you have no business finding any loss conditions. In this case, you know what? We got the Haunter out of the way for the Escavalier, at least. So now we can farm down with the Umbreon The farm doesn't really give us too much because it's an Azumarill. It's going to be able to soak up all of this last resort damage, but this Azumarill, it's not like a Beedrill, right? Escavalier does need some damage done to it, so the last resort damage does come in handy. In this case, they're going to come in with a Alolan Muck. You know what? I think actually maybe their shield button was broken. It's not like Escavalier can really bait with anything here. Just going straight for the drill run. They decide to no shield. Maybe they're doing a 2-shield flex challenge or something like that. There's no reason in my mind to not shield their Haunter there. And there's no reason to not shield the, well, I mean, that's an exaggeration. I mean, the reason to no shield the Haunter was exactly what happened. But there actually was no reason to no shield the Escav unless they think I'm running something like Acid Spray. And why would I Acid Spray instead of just Drill Run there? But it's the guarantee matchup. I don't know. Either way, we're going to lag a little bit at the end there. Doesn't really matter. Gonna get the Drill Run off. I think that's yet another positive set. I think that's the end of the set. Maybe. Either way, team is very fun. Love these ABB teams, as usual, with a very tanky lead. Allows you to play around with a lot of things. And you know what? I figured I had also not made a video about Shadow Beedrill in a while, and I love this Pokemon. So this team just kind of all fell together. But yeah, I look forward to doing some more Halloween Cup battles. I was thinking about doing Master League too, but the problem is they didn't come back with Master League Classic, I don't think. You guys correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think it's Master League Open, which I definitely don't have a team for at all. And it's kind of silly that in this test season where they're supposed to be fixing bugs and it's supposed to be kind of for fun, they don't fix bugs and they're bringing back the versions of the leagues that people don't really like. Like they should be bringing back Master League Open or Master League Premier even. Or sorry, Master League Premier Classic, and even for Ultra League Premier Classic should be the standard Ultra League. I feel like more people can play it. It's a free season. They're trying to get people into it. They don't want to have to get people to XL Pokemon to play. Kind of ridiculous. But either way, that's the video. Thanks for watching.